this is a little bit of a braiding demo, and I'm told we want kind of a fancy braid hairdo today that has the braids going all the way down. But we've been wearing pigtails a lot recently, so I'm going for a side part instead of a straight center part. Okay, so just to start out, first thing you want to do before you do a little French braiding action, you want to get the hair a little bit damp. At least I find that works best for this kiddo's hair. She's got pretty fine hair that can get kind of wispy, and it's getting pretty long now, so it can get a little bit unruly too. So I just run a brush under the sink real quick and just kind of brush it through. So you don't want it wet, just kind of damp so you don't really have any flyaways. And then what I'm gonna do is part it ahead of time. So I've got a side part over here, so to even out the hair a little bit. Are you sure you want to braid all the way down, dude?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to do a diagonal part in the back here to even out the amount of hair, which means that the braid at the bottom should be the same size. Stop. Can you keep your hair or keep your head straight? But it may be a little bit funky. I may have made this a little bit more complicated for myself to keep up with. Okay, so first we are going to just put a little elastic. I like to use these, you want to come in close? These little kid elastics, especially on the French braids, because they stay on well without having to do too many loops around. So I'm just gonna, great close up of me. Just use it to pull one side of the hair over to kind of try and keep the part organized. All right, come in close. Over here maybe, so that you can see. I'm gonna braid. All right, keep looking forward. Don't look down for a minute, okay, kiddo? Look up here at the mirror, okay? Luckily, Stacia will play with anything, and she's playing with a comb right now. Stacia, can you look up though, buddy? Okay. So I'm gonna divide into 3 pieces of hair. Hopefully, I'm not going too fast for you, Kelly. All right, and then I'm just gonna do a standard braid for the first 2 passes, and then just start pulling a little bit of hair. I don't try and go too fast. I kind of try and organize and make sure that I'm only pulling small amounts, and that I'm trying to pull it fairly tight. Stack, can you keep looking forward, bud? Okay. Same thing over here. I'm pulling a small piece of hair before I do my cross, and then pull it pretty tight. Same thing again. Stop, that noise is super annoying. You gotta stop, bud. And then again, I'm just kind of pulling the excess hair out so that I don't have too much hair in my braid. Same thing over here. And this, I think, is kind of the hardest when you're starting in the beginning, because this is all the stuff you're really gonna see around their face. So you want to make sure it's clean. And you kind of are pulling the same amount of hair from each side so that the braid kind of stays balanced. I don't know if I'm doing much of a job explaining it, but trying not to go too fast. I just don't have really profound things to say about how you pull the hair in. See, I'm just using one hand to kind of hold things steady, and the other hand's doing a lot of the work, separating out the hair and kind of keeping it from getting tangled. If I didn't have the brush dropped on the floor, I might use it. Yeah, that's okay. I don't need a comb. Here, let me see. I think I have another brush over here. Sometimes it helps to just kind of smooth it out partway through. Make sure things aren't getting too bunched up.
And if you have one of those brushes and you scratch your kid.
Maybe use it to scratch her back, because she's got intense demands. It's not just braids she wants. She wants a back scratch too.
No. That brush is really a scratchy.
Oh.
Kind of brush.
Like in a good way or a bad way?
Bad way.
Oh, in a bad way. Sorry, dude.
So if you ever use that brush, then remember.
I also end up moving around a lot when I do these braids. Like I'm fully standing over on the side of her right now. And as the braid kind of rotates to the back, I will rotate to the back. So I don't know if this is strictly what they teach you in like cosmetology school. Here we go. I'm just evening that one out. There was a piece that was dropping underneath that was going to make it look a little bumpy and funky. I'm going to start rotating around, but
I like a little bump and funk.
a little bump and funk. Thank you to my videographer, Daddy, who really is displeased that this is what he got suckered into, but thanks, Daddy. So I think for this one, especially because it's a side part, and this braid is coming really close over her ear, that's something I'm just going to have to remember when I get to the other side so that the braids are kind of showing up evenly on her head. All right, so now...
Just FYI, we're at 6 minutes.
Yeah. Now, Kelly told me she wants me to go slow, so we're going slow. Now you really have to pay attention to where you are pulling the inner hair from to make sure that you're keeping the part where you want it to be. So here we go. Let me just make sure. So I'm gonna pull over here from the hair that we already kind of nicely parted. And then some hair underneath it. So we may end up pulling a little bit from underneath the French braid, a little bit more like you do in a cornrow, or I guess a Dutch braid. I guess that's I don't know, the hairdresser term for it.
Can't trust the Dutch.
I mean, I'm used to calling it a cornrow, but I've seen it called a Dutch braid. All right, so here I'm just really evening out the hair before I pull it in, trying to keep it tight. Try not to do too much drumming with that cup.
I need some more water.
Okay, buddy, hold on.
I haven't had any water today.
All right, let's pause for a minute, Daddy, as I finish this because it's getting long, and then we'll resume on the other side. Okay, so we're back.
You know what?
Stacia, sweetheart, can you chill out for a minute? Okay, so I've taken the elastic out of this side. I'm just kind of brushing it down quickly. Make sure there are no snarls on this side so we can start braiding. And you can see how this one finished out. So I'm gonna try and make sure that the braid on this side at least kind of shows up in the same part of her head. It's gonna start a little bit closer to center, but we're gonna try and get down to her ear quickly. So, try not to bang for me, okay, buddy? And can you look up? You look up, kiddo? Okay. Yeah, try not to turn your head, sweetness. Just look at the wall for a sec. Okay, so same deal as last time. We're just pulling small amounts of hair over. And in this case, we're going to have to make sure that we don't over pull in hair because most of the hair is up in the front of the head because of that funky side part we did because she wanted the side part but braided all the way down. Usually if I do a side part, I think it's easier to only braid half the hair. And then you can kind of pull it back together in a low ponytail. Sweetheart, just look at the wall for me. Hey, you're the one that asked for a fancy braid, dude. You got yourself into this predicament.
I didn't know that we were doing this.
It's tough being a little kid, isn't it? All right.
It's pretty hard to sit still for this long.
So same deal, just kind of pull in a piece here, pull in a piece there.
I can tell you I have a hard time focusing myself.
Oh boy. Stop it. All right. So we can take a break again. You should kind of get the concept, right? It's just a pretty standard French braid. Can you stop itching your butt with the hairbrush, dude? Stacia, stop it. Thank you. Stacia, stop. And like I said, we're kind of making a run for the border toward the ear. Stacia, please stop. Okay? We're making a run for the ear with this, so that the two braids on each side of the head kind of look even. We'll see how it
cameo.
goes. Oh, ballerina kid. Ballerina kid, do you have a braid in today too, Evie? You wanted a ponytail braid, right?
Oh yeah, let's check that out. Yeah.
I have a bracelet. That's so high.
All right, so this is my first hair tutorial video. I've probably done a better French braid in my life, but see, we just kind of made sure that both of them headed over toward where the ears went and then turn around, and they're pretty even, pretty much the same length down here. But you know, they kind of ended a little bit different because you've got this funky side part, but I think it works. Show us how you look from the front, straight on. So there you go. There's a little bit of a French braid tutorial. I don't know if that helped anybody, but that's today's fancy hairdo.
Booyah!